A lot of Canadians assume RRSPs are a no-brainer for saving money. But after years of working with clients, I've seen some costly RRSP misconceptions that left them with a lot of regrets and tax headaches. Let's break down the 4 biggest tax regrets and traps that I see and what you can do to prevent them. Regret number 1. RRSP money is too inflexible. Many Canadians regret contributing to an RRSP when they realize how difficult it is to access their money. Unlike a TFSA, where withdrawals are tax-free and contribution room is restored, RRSP withdrawals come with steep tax consequences and permanently reduced contribution room. Those who need quick access to their savings, whether for emergencies or unexpected expenses, often regret locking their money away in an RRSP. RRSP withdrawals aren't easily accessible. A major regret among RRSP holders is the mistaken belief that their savings can be accessed like a regular bank account. In reality, every dollar withdrawn is taxed as income, often pushing people into a higher marginal tax bracket. For example, meet Lisa, who earns $65,000 per year and withdraws $20,000 from her RRSP for emergency home repairs. Her taxable income jumps to $85,000, increasing her tax bill far more than expected. Worse, unlike a TFSA, she can't recontribute the money, permanently reducing her retirement savings. Many Canadians only discover this issue when they need cash the most, leading to frustration and regret. Think of your TFSA as like an open safe. You can take money in and out of it freely, whereas an RRSP, on the other hand, is more like a vault with a time lock. Once you put your money in, getting it out comes with a costly price. Then there's the withholding tax surprise. Another major regret is underestimating the automatic withholding tax on RRSP withdrawals. Many assume that they'll owe tax at filing time, only to realize a portion is deducted up front, leaving them with less cash than expected. This table outlines the withholding rates given how much you're taking out early. Meet Jeff, who withdraws $10,000 to cover an emergency expense. His bank withholds 20%, meaning he only receives $8,000, while $2,000 goes straight to the government. But when he files his taxes, because his marginal tax rate is higher than the 20%, he has to pay an additional $1,000 in taxes. Similarly, meet Maria, who is a retiree who withdraws $25,000 for a vacation. Her bank automatically withholds 30%, leaving her with $17,500. Then at tax time, her income rate is even higher than 30%, which forces her to pay another $2,500 beyond what was already deducted. Many regret assuming that the withholding tax was the final amount owing, only to get a nasty surprise at tax time. This makes early RRSP withdrawals far less appealing than what they initially seemed. So before contributing to an RRSP, ask yourself one key question. Do I need this money before retirement? If the answer is yes, or even maybe, a TFSA or another account might be a better choice. But if you're using an RRSP strategically for retirement long-term tax savings, it can be a very powerful tool. The key is to plan ahead so your RRSP works for you and not against you. Regret number 2 is tax refund disappointments. Many Canadians regret contributing to an RRSP when their expected tax refund falls short. While RRSP contributions provide a tax deduction, the actual refund depends on income level and your overall tax situation, when the refund wasn't as big as expected. A common misconception is that RRSPs always generate a large tax refund. In reality, the size of the refund depends on marginal tax rates. A high earner making $100,000 will see a far greater benefit from RRSP deductions than someone earning $45,000, whose lower tax rates provides a much smaller refund. Many regret not realizing RRSPs favor higher earners, leaving them disappointed when their refunds don't match their expectations. Then there's wasting the refund instead of reinvesting. Even when people receive a big refund, many regret not using it wisely. Instead of reinvesting, they spend it on non-essential purchases, defeating the purpose of RRSP's tax advantages. A smarter move would have been to use the refund to pay down high-interest debt or to invest in something like TFSA, which allows tax-free growth and withdrawals. Many realize too late that they missed a key opportunity to build more wealth. RRSPs weren't the best choice. For some, especially low-income earners, a TFSA would have been a better option. Unlike RRSP withdrawals, which are fully taxable, TFSA withdrawals are tax-free, providing greater flexibility. Some regret contributing to an RRSP when their income was too low to maximize tax savings, only to withdraw later in a higher tax bracket, which kind of negates the tax advantage a bit. A better approach would have been to contribute when income is high and withdraw when it's lower. But before we go on to our next regret, if tax savings are on your mind, check out our guide on 7 powerful income splitting strategies to legally reduce your tax bill. You can get our free guide on our website, the link is in the description. Regret number 3, RRSP investing without a clear strategy. Many Canadians regret it contributing to a RSP without a solid investment plan. With so many choices, some freeze and do nothing, while others take on way too much risk, both mistakes that can hurt long-term returns. Too many investment choices lead to paralysis. RRSPs allow investments in stocks, bonds, ETFs, mutual funds, GICs, and more, which sounds great until the overwhelming number of options leads to decision paralysis. Some contributors leave their RRSP funds just sitting in cash or low interest savings, missing out on years of potential growth. Others blindly follow high-fee mutual fund recommendations from banks, not realizing how much of those fees eat into their long-term returns. Many regret not having a clear strategy from the start and wish they had taken the time to learn about investment options before contributing. Taking on too much risk causes stress. Some RRSP holders go all in on high-risk stocks, hoping for big gains but without fully understanding market volatility. When the market drops, panic sets in, leading to rushed decisions and selling at a loss. Many investors regret not diversifying their portfolio, realizing too late that risk without strategy is just gambling. Playing it too safe hurts growth. On the flip side, some investors are too conservative, keeping their RSPs in, say, low interest savings accounts or GICs or money market funds. And while this does avoid volatility, it also means their money barely keeps up with inflation, limiting retirement income. Many realize years later that their savings just didn't grow enough, wishing that they had been more balanced in their approach. To avoid RRSP investment regrets, start with a clear strategy. Don't just contribute for the tax break. Choose investments that match your risk tolerance, balancing growth, such as stocks, with stability, such as bonds, to avoid taking on too much or too little risk. Stick to low-cost ETFs or index funds instead of high-fee mutual funds, and don't leave cash sitting idle. I go over this in way more detail in another video about RRSP millionaire secrets, so be sure to check that out. Regret number 4, RRSP withdrawal challenges in retirement. Many retirees regret not planning their RRSP withdrawals properly, leading to higher taxes, lost government benefits, and forced withdrawals that don't align with their financial needs. Think of your RRSP refund as kind of like a boomerang. Getting an RRSP refund feels great at the time when you're investing. It's kind of like throwing a boomerang and then getting cash back. But what most people don't realize is that that boomerang swings back later and hits you with taxes on withdrawals. Unexpected tax burden on withdrawals. Unlike TFSAs, every RRSP withdrawal is fully taxable income, which can greatly affect your retirement income. David, for example, earns $40,000 from CPP and a pension. He withdraws $50,000 from his RRSP for home renovation, increasing his taxable income to $90,000 and triggering a much larger tax bill. He could have reduced his tax burden if he had withdrawn smaller amounts over multiple years, for example. Then you have your forced withdrawals at 71. By age 71, RRSPs must be converted into a RIF, requiring mandatory withdrawals each year, whether the retiree needs the income or not. It's kind of like Cinderella when the clock strikes midnight, except instead of turning into a pumpkin, it turns into mandatory withdrawals and tax bills. Meet Michael, who has $500,000 in his RRSP when he turns 71. Under the current rule, he must withdraw close to around 5%, which is for him $26,400, increasing his taxable income to $76,400. Then as he ages, higher withdrawal rates forces him to take out even more, compounding the problem. Losing OAS benefits to RRSP withdrawals. OAS starts getting clawed back at around $91,000, according to the 2024 thresholds. Large RRSP withdrawals can push retirees over this limit, reducing or eliminating OAS payments. Many regret not spreading out withdrawals earlier to avoid losing thousands in free government benefits. RRSPs can be a very powerful tool, but only if used wisely. And at Blueprint Financial, we help Canadians avoid these common regrets and traps that I just mentioned, save on taxes, and build a solid retirement plan. If you want a strategy tailored to you, check out our services at our website. And if you found this helpful, please hit like and subscribe. We've got more valuable insights coming your way.